Welcome to the Coach's Corner. Stage 2, Topic 4. Let me ask you something. What if making it easier for clients to leave made them more likely to stay? I get it. That sounds counterintuitive, and it is, but it's also true. Most entrepreneurs build their client relationships around control, long contracts, hard exits, policies designed to make leaving inconvenient. And what that actually produces is clients who feel trapped, clients who stop communicating, clients who resent you quietly and leave the moment they can. The best clients don't stay because they have to. They stay because they choose to. This is how you design a business where that's the norm. Today, we're going to take a look at the milestone exit strategy, building trust through transparency. What if making it easier for clients to leave made them more likely to stay? Today, we're going to break down one, the hidden fear, two, the trap, forced loyalty, three, the framework, milestone exit model, 4, the application, designing checkpoints. 5, the principle, choice delivers commitment. 6, the 5-step checkpoint map. 7, summary and key takeaways. 8, your next steps. And 9, resources. Let's start with the hidden fear. Let's name the fear that drives this problem. Most entrepreneurs are afraid of one thing above almost everything else: losing clients. So they build systems around that fear: contracts, commitment periods, policies that make it hard to leave. And here's the painful irony: the control that's supposed to create retention is what destroys it. When clients feel trapped, two things happen. They start second guessing everything that you do because they can't leave. So they're looking for reasons to justify staying. And they stop communicating openly because they don't feel safe. That's when the relationship quietly breaks. And here's the worst part: the clients who would have stayed by choice, they leave anyway. The moment the contract ends, you just delayed the inevitable. It made both sides miserable getting there. The best clients stay by choice, not contract. That's not a nice idea. It's a business model. So let's take a look at why the best clients stay by choice, not contract. Again, what most entrepreneurs do is they build long-term contracts to lock clients in. They avoid natural exit conversations out of fear. They create policies that make it hard to leave. And they rely on obligation instead of trust. The real cost of that? Clients start second guessing every decision. Communication closes down. They don't feel safe. The relationship quietly breaks before anyone says so. And clients who would have stayed leave anyway. There are 3 specific things forced loyalty produces, and none of them are retention. 1, the wrong clients stay and the right clients hesitate. The clients who need to feel trusted before they commit, those are the ones who would have been your best long-term partners. But they walk when they sense the pressure. The wrong fit clients get locked in. You end up filtering backwards. 2, clients disengage instead of communicating. When someone feels trapped, they go quiet. Hidden frustration becomes quiet churn. You lose them without really ever understanding why. 3, and this is the most important one: control becomes the opposite of retention. The tighter the grip, the more pressure builds. Tension replaces trust. Resentment replaces relationships. And the tool you built to keep them ends up being the reason they leave. So let's take a look at reframing this. People don't want to feel owned, they want to feel trusted. You don't need tighter contracts, you need clearer checkpoints. The milestone exit model is pretty simple. Think checkpoints, not cages. At every natural point in your work together, the end of each phase, a project milestone, a delivery cycle, you create a structured moment with four parts. One, you review. You look at what's been achieved together, specific results, visible progress, not vague reassurance, but evidence. Two, you celebrate. You acknowledge the wins, honestly, before discussing anything about what comes next. That order matters. Celebration before pitch signals that you care about the work, not just a renewal. Three, choose. You offer freedom. You can leave here, or we can keep going. No pressure either way. That one line does something most entrepreneurs never do. It makes the power dynamic equal. And then four, continue. Clients who stay choose to stay. And that changes the nature of the entire relationship going forward. You're no longer hoping that they won't leave. You know they're in because they want to be. Let's talk about designing milestone checkpoints. Let's make this practical. Four steps to implement starting this week. Step one, identify natural breakpoints. Look at your current client work. Where does one clear phase end and another begins? Name those moments. Strategy, setup, optimization, maintenance, whatever fits your model. Make sure each phase delivers a visible result before you move on to the next one. Step two, script the milestone conversation. Write a short agenda that covers three things: review wins, acknowledge lessons, and outline next options. Then add one specific line. You can continue to the next phase or pause here if this feels complete for now. That line signals confidence. It reminds them that they're choosing to stay, not being held. Step three, track engagement patterns. Pay attention to who consistently chooses to continue. Those are your long term builders. Clients who exit at milestone one were never going to make it to month six anyway. The early clarity costs less than late painful exits. Step four, reflect on each milestone. Ask yourself one question: did this moment deepen or damage trust? If something felt off, a hesitation, a vague answer, take note of it. Adjust the next checkpoint conversation. The model improves every time you use it. The principle: choice drives commitment. Here's the principle underneath everything: control is the illusion of retention, choice is the foundation of it. When a client stays because they choose to, commitment deepens with every decision. Communications opens up because they trust you. They refer others to you before the work is even finished. You get partnerships, not transactions. Transparency proves confidence. When you make it easy to leave, clients believe you have nothing to hide. They relax. They engage more. They become partners, not prisoners. Exit options don't weaken your business. They reveal who you really are to your clients and who your clients really are. And they strengthen every relationship that matters. The five-step checkpoint map. Now, let me give you the operational map. Five checkpoints that turn the model into a repeatable system. Step 1. Define natural milestones. Break your work down into 3 to 5 named phases. Each one must deliver a visible result before you move on. Step 2. Script the milestone moment. Short agenda. You want to look at wins, lessons, and next options. And then add that choice line. Write it out word for word before the meeting. Step 3. Celebrate before you pitch. 2 minutes of specific acknowledgement before discussing renewal. Not generic, great work. Specific. Here's what we achieved together. Here's what's now possible because of that. When you can take that time and you can recap, you're telling a story. You're giving a person a start, a middle, and an end. And then you're allowing them to be able to choose to continue on to the next chapter. Step 4. Offer choice, not pressure. Present the next step clearly. Then stop talking. Leave silence. Let them decide without prompting. This is harder than it sounds, but it's effective. Step 5. Record the response. What language made them comfortable continuing? What hesitations surfaced? Feed that back into your proposal and your onboarding. Every milestone teaches you how to build clearer expectations with the next client. Summary and action next steps. Let's wrap it up. Milestone exits don't weaken your business, they strengthen it. Because when people stay by choice, they stay longer, they trust deeper, and they refer faster. The 3 takeaways: don't trap clients, invite them to stay. The moment they feel forced, you lose the trust that makes retention real. Use milestones as checkpoints for both progress and trust. Every natural breakpoint is an opportunity to prove you have nothing to hide. Confidence means giving choice. When you make it easy to leave, clients believe you're confident in your value. 4 moves this week. 1. Identify natural checkpoints in your current client work. 2. Write a milestone script, including the choice line. 3. At your next checkpoint, offer the choice directly and let the silence do the work for you. 4. Notice what happens, who stays, who exits, and what they tell you. Again, we're covering this from the perspective of what you want to be able to do to retain a client. But we can also look at this from the perspective of when you bring in the wrong type of client, how to be able to exit gracefully without there being sore feelings or anyone feeling like they were shorted on the experience or the deliverables that they were supposed to get based on the investment that they made. I like to have these types of things baked in because you don't know some things about how people work when you first start having those conversations. In most relationships or any kind of relationship, you get to meet their representative first. And then as you start to get into the thick of things, that's where you start to realize how people move, what kind of ways they deal with pressure, and just the day to day how people process things. And if you find something isn't a good fit, it's better to let that person part ways happy than it is to try to hold on to them just so that you can hold on to the revenue. Are you building trust or are you building traps? The best businesses don't chase loyalty, they design for it. Milestone exits are how you design a business where clients stay because they genuinely want to, and where the ones who were never the right fit leave early, cleanly, and before they cost you more than they can contribute. If you want to understand how your natural way of building relationships shapes your retention strategy, the entrepreneurial type assessment is going to be linked in the description below. Subscribe for the next breakdown. Drop a comment with where you're currently losing clients. Milestone 1, milestone 2, or at the end of contracts. I read them all. I'll see you next time. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe. And the next episode is going to be the next phase. When you start to move past the 30K and you start getting into generating more money, more revenue, and it adds more pressure.